So we have 11.1c homework. So the first one says Harold has $3.05 of change in dimes and nickels. With 7 more nickels than dimes, how many of each coin does he have? Now we don't have a general equation for this, so we are going to have to make our own variables before we make our own equation. So first of all, what are they asking for? They're saying how many of each coin do we have, right? So how many of each coin? Now, what are those coins? Well, they're dimes and they are nickels. Now, first of all, let's do nickels because that was mentioned first. So we have nickels, and I'll make that X. And then they have dimes, and we'll say that's Y. Now, what else do we know about? We have 7 more nickels than dimes. So 7 more than dimes. 7 more than dimes, dimes being Y. Okay, now what else do we know? We know that we have $3.05. How do we find out? Well, a nickel's worth 5 cents, so it's $0.05 times the number of nickels plus the value of dimes, which is 10 cents, so 0.10 times dimes. Dimes is Y. Dimes are Y in this case. And then that's equal to $3.05. Now we have to substitute in everywhere we have an X, that's actually equal to 7 plus Y. So where I have an X right here, I'm going to substitute in 7 plus Y. So I'm going to put 0.05, and I'll actually put, instead I'll put Y plus 7, I'll flip it a little bit, plus 0.10 Y is equal to 3.05. Now at this point, I'm going to get rid of the decimals. Now, I have 2 decimal places here, 2 decimal places here, and 2 decimal places here. So to get rid of 2 decimal places, I have to multiply by 100. And when I do that, I'm going to move this decimal place over to the right on every one of the terms. Not inside the parentheses, though. Just the stuff in front of the parentheses. Okay, so now we end up with 5 times Y plus 7 plus plus 10Y is equal to 305. 305. Now, we're going to distribute the 5. 5 times Y is 5Y. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 10Y equals 305. So 5Y plus 10Y is equal to 15Y. So we want to get the 15Y by itself, so I have to undo the addition of 35 by subtracting 35. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Those cancel out, leaving me 15Y is equal to 305 minus 35, which should give me 270. Then I undo the multiplication of Y by 15 by dividing by 15. And 15 cancels out 15, leaving me Y. And that leaves me, let's see, I think that leaves me 18. 270 divided by 15 is 18. So we put 18 here. Okay, so we know Y is equal to 18. Y are the number of dimes over here. So we're not done, though, because we don't just want to know the number of dimes. We also want to know the number of nickels. So 7 more than 18 would give me 25. And we can double check our work. So we can go over here and we could say, well, 0.05 times the number of nickels, which is 25, plus 0.10 times the number of dimes, which is 18, gives us $3.05. And we double check, we make sure that's true, right? So this would give us 0.05 times 25 is 125, plus 0.1 times 18 is 1.8. And we add that together, and sure enough, we get $3.05. So we know that one right there is correct. Move on to the next one. An office manager bought 2 cases of paper and 5 ink cartridges, but he forgot what each costs. He knows that the total was $133, and he recalls that the case of paper cost $14 more than an ink cartridge. What was the cost of a single unit of each? Okay, so first of all, again, we don't have a general equation for this, so we want to write the variables first. Now, the question is, what was the cost of a single unit of each? So cost of a single unit of each. Well, each of what? Well, he wants to know the cost of paper and ink cartridges. Okay, so since paper is listed first, I'm just going to put paper, and we'll just set that equal to X. Then we'll say, well, what about ink cartridges? We'll say that's Y. Now, we also know that the total was $133, and we also know that the case of paper costs 14 more than an ink cartridge, Y. So 14 plus Y. Okay. And we know the total is 133. So what was the cost of a single unit of each? Now, they did buy 2 cases of paper, and they bought 5 ink cartridges. Okay, so what we do know originally was that 2 cases of paper, so 2 of X, plus 5 ink cartridges, which is 5Y, costs 133. Now, we also know at this point that paper is 14 more than ink cartridges, which is Y plus 14, which is what I'm going to use. So everywhere there's an X instead, I'm going to plug in Y plus 14. Then we say plus 5Y is equal to 133. So 2 times Y is 2Y. 2 times 14 is 28, plus 5Y is equal to 133. So 2Y plus 5Y is 7Y. 7Y plus 28 is equal to 133. Next, we want to get the variable term 7Y by itself, so we have to subtract 28. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other, leaving me 7Y is equal to 133 minus 28, which would be 105. Now we undo the multiplication of Y by 7 by dividing by 7, and whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. So that the 7's cancel out, leaving me Y is equal to 15. Now, we know that we have to have had the dollar price of the ink cartridges must have been 15. How much are the paper? Well, the paper costs 14 more than 15, so it's 14 plus 15, which would give me 29. We could verify that if we wanted to at this point. So we could say, well, 2 times X, X being 29, plus, we could say the next one, which is ink cartridge, which is 5 times 15. And this whole thing together should cost 133. So 2 times 29 is 58. 5 times 15 is 75. And if we did our math correctly, 58 plus 75 should be equal to 133. And we end up with 133 is equal to 133. So that is in fact correct.